So in 74 days, my family is supposed to move to Portugal, and we might have a problem, and it might be coming more like 24 days. So essentially, I'm documenting this entire process of how we're making the move to Portugal. I'm an American citizen, so is my daughter. My wife is from Ukraine. We currently live in Poland, so it's very complicated, and more than likely than not, your situation is not actually going to be this complicated. So essentially, we've been applying for a visa in Poland here for 3 years, and we actually just got denied, which we were kind of expecting. It is what it is. 3 years down the tube, at least $25,000. Portugal's been a much smoother process, thankfully. But basically, my wife and I are on the Ukrainian status here. We have that as well as a backup, but my daughter does not. And so essentially, we were denied this visa, and effectively, we got the notice on April 28th, and we have 30 days to leave the country. And of course, it was a holiday in Poland, and they were slow, so we didn't actually get the notice until like May 5th, so they burned 7 of our days already. So we're down to like 24 days to go until we potentially have to leave the country. We're trying to appeal this so that we can just get some more time, but it is like what it is. So here's like everything that we're trying to sort through, and like I said, in most cases, like your situation's not going to be this complicated, but I have a driver's license issue because of California. So I'm trying to get a driver's license here in Poland before we leave. We're trying to obviously rent a place, which our initial plan was to leave on July 21st. And on top of that, basically just trying to figure out how I can actually get a driver's license here in Poland, or ideally just get one in Portugal. So probably going to make some videos on what I learned about that in terms of getting a driver's license in Poland and Portugal, Poland, Portugal, it's all over the place. So that's everything that's going on. That's what I'm trying to solve right now. Everything else with the visa is smooth, it's good to go, but this is the kind of stuff that like comes up at the last second. And like, we are a very international family. I've lived abroad for 10 years. My wife has lived abroad for a good chunk of that as well with me, obviously. So if you're all, if everyone in your family has the same citizenship and you all applied on the same visa, like your life will be much easier, especially, because a lot of situations are just solvable, right? If I lived in California and I didn't have this license problem, or if I had this license problem, I would just be walking into the DMV. And in this case, I have to fly 24 hours to go to the DMV. Not really ideally what we want to do. So that is day 74 update. It might become, like I said, more like 24 instead of 74. So we might have lost 50 days off of our timeline to move, but we've fled a war in Ukraine. We've had to pack up our entire stuff in 1 hour and get out of here. So I think we'll manage. It's just one of those. It's just so bureaucratic out here, and I think this is valuable to know. Is like, I don't know what it's going to be in Portugal, but I can give the example of Poland. So I went there yesterday and I said, hey, I want to just get a driver's license here in Poland. And as a foreigner, they're like, okay, you need to take the theory test. I'm like, okay, I understand, I can probably do that. You need to get a medical exam. So that's 2 things right there. But then they say you need an updated PESEL, which a PESEL is basically your identification number here. So in Portugal, it would be the equivalent of a NIF probably. So they're like, we need an up-to-date PESEL status, which is one document that someone at some office prints out. So we go to that office after going to the driving one, and they say, well, okay, great, but your lease is out of date. I'm like, okay, well, here's the 2 extensions we have of the lease. Our original lease was in 2023, signed extensions 24, 25, and they say, this is a copy. We need your landlord's original signature. And I'm like, okay, she lives across the country. Do you really need that? And they're like, yep. Then this guy, of course, had that stick up his asshole. So he says, I absolutely need this. And we text our landlord, who we just noticed that we're leaving the apartment, and she says, well, I'm in Los Angeles, so I can't provide you the original. And she's probably not totally happy that we're leaving the apartment either. So what do we do now? She won't be back for 3 weeks. We don't have a way to get this document. So now we're in the situation where my driver's license is expiring. I tried to renew it when I was in California. They wouldn't let me do it, and because it was more than 90 days out. And now I can't do it online because my last 2 were online and they need a new photo. And I can't get a Polish one here. And I'm also worried that the Portuguese license, even if I get there before it expires, then I have to somehow turn it in Portugal. And what happens if that takes 6 months and I can't drive, which would be problematic for where we're moving in Portugal. So these are the problems that we have to solve. These are problems that we're used to solving as an international family living abroad with multiple nationalities. These are problems that you may encounter as someone moving to Portugal, no matter what your nationality is, although probably, hopefully not at the extreme level that ours are. So, like I said, this went a little longer than I thought. That's the day 74, maybe becoming day 24 video, and heading up to the mountains today with my business group, and I'll be making some more videos and trying to make some progress on all these problems while I'm there. Cheers.